Welcome to the Weekend Warriors Fishing Podcast, presented by 13 Fishing Canada. Make your own luck. We're here to scratch that angling itch and talk everything fishing. Join us as we sit down with special guests from across the industry. Now, here's your host, Logan Lewis.
Welcome to episode 99 of the Weekend Warriors Fishing Podcast. I am your host, Logan Lewis, and usually my co-host Jesse would be here for this one, but I think he got stuck night fishing as I haven't heard from him in about 8 hours, and we're looking at almost 9 p.m. the night before the episode's supposed to go up. So figured I'd hop in here quick and record some intro and outro for this episode, and this is actually take two, as I just did about 5 minutes without realizing that my mic was not plugged in. So maybe you couldn't tell that I've been doing this for 98 episodes before this one. So we've got a really fun one today. Episode 99 is with the owners of Len Thompson Lures, being Brad and Jess, brother-sister combo. They are the fourth generation in the line of the Len Thompson Company, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one. We cover a wide range of topics, everything from the very beginnings of Len Thompson Lures right here in Saskatchewan, their move out to Alberta, some recent acquisitions that they made, how the lures are made, tons of stuff. It was a lot of fun, and I think you're really going to enjoy this one. Wanted to mention before I get into the sponsors of the show here, if you haven't yet, give the Pre-Fish Volume 1 a listen. That was our most recent episode, and it was the first episode from our new shorter form portion of the show called The Pre-Fish. It's kind of Jesse's little baby there, kind of his brainchild, and our first episode revolved around how to catch lake trout, everything from the beginning to end, your boat, the electronics, all the way to trolling for them, jigging for them. Tons of information in there, about 45 minutes of just straight lake trout information. So if you haven't yet, tune into that one, and then head over to the socials and check out the personal best guided lake trout that Jesse had. You can read his post to find out more about that, but just a couple days after we released that episode, one of his clients that he was guiding landed the biggest laker that Jesse's ever guided. So he's pretty pumped about that. Before we hop into today's episode, obviously want to thank the sponsors as always. If you're watching the video version, I've got 13 Fishing Canada right behind me here. Huge thanks to them for being the presenting sponsor of the show. You can head over to the Rapala Canada website and use the code Weekend Warriors, that's WKND Warriors, to save yourself 15% off the entire Rapala Canada website. Shop all the brands, load up that cart, and save yourself some money with the Weekend Warriors code. Next up, big thanks to the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation. You can head over to the website, find your local branch, get your membership, $25, something like that. Gets you access to the subscription for the Outdoor Canada magazine with a Saskatchewan-specific portion of the magazine. You will also get access to land, which is quite handy coming out into the fall here, as it is August 15th, the day this episode is going up. And you can also, you don't have to be a member for this, but keep using that Saskatchewan Master Angler program. Seen lots of people getting certificates, catching some nice fish, and it's pretty sweet that we have something like that in Saskatchewan as well. So huge thanks to the Saskatchewan Wildlife Federation for continuing to support the podcast. I don't have too much to say in the intro here, keeping it short and sweet, as we do have a pretty long interview portion of the show here. So sit back, relax. We're about to hop into that. Wanted to have a quick disclaimer about the tattoo portion of the podcast. You'll hear it in the first couple minutes here. Just wanted to put out the disclaimer that the only tattoos that were received were some of the guides. There was no clients that were tattooed in the process of this story. So I just wanted to put that out there just so everyone was aware of that, as it was kind of thought about that. I guess that could obviously be a liability issue if someone had thought that it happened. So that did not happen in this case, but it's a pretty funny story about the tattoos. So stay tuned. We'll get into that one quick, and then we'll talk about some more revolving around Len Thompson. I hope you enjoy this one. Well, we've had this one a couple weeks in the making since their recent trip to Lac La Martre Lodge with our co-host here, Jesse Cadron. But we have Jess and Brad on from Len Thompson Lures. And this is one I know you guys had a podcast, been listening to that. Wanted to have you guys on for a bit, so it's pretty sweet that we were able to have worlds collide here. But how are you two doing?
Pretty good.
Living the dream.
My bad. We did mention I should be pointing it to someone for for the questions, and I just let you two decide what was going on there. But no, that's good. So I guess right off the hop here, we may as well talk about your trip to Lac La Martre. Is that something we kind of all have in common here? So when was that? That was late July. Jess?
Yeah, we were up there earlier in July, actually. And man, you guys sure have it tough going up there to Lac La
Oh
Martre.
yeah, yeah. It's a
awful.
tough place to go be a fisherman. Oh yeah.
And a guide. Yeah. What'd you think of it, Brad?
Well, I didn't really know what to think. I won it at a live auction at a Alberta Wildlife Federation auction.
Okay.
And I knew that our pal Adam Gamble was a guide up there, and he had good things to say about it. And I knew that Jess and I hadn't actually fished together since we were kids, probably. And I knew that I had a few extra whiskeys to make me a little braver with my arm. So so we purchased the trip, and yeah, it took us a full year to take advantage. But yeah, July was really good.
Yeah, no, I think I was thinking it was late July because I forgot and took too long to reach out on email to get the episode set up. I think that's why I was thinking it was like after the break in July. But no, that's awesome. And then obviously with that, we'll get into it later, but bidding in that kind of your proceeds, I guess, for the trip would have been going towards some kind of conservation effort, right?
Well, the trip was paid for by I guess our conservation fund, because it does go straight towards the Alberta Wildlife Federation and all the good things that they do for fishing and hunting, in Alberta. But yeah, it was kind of nice to go as a perk, I guess, to conservation initiatives.
Right. And I guess before we hop into kind of some of the specifics with the trip and what all you guys caught, and we'll try and guess what lures were being used, but kind of for you to explain to the listeners kind of how you and Len Thompson go together, and then we'll get into the trip to Lac La Martre if you want to start, Jess.
So we are the fourth generation owners of Len Thompson Lures. Len Thompson was our great grandfather. So Brad and I are brother and sister. And we have both been in the business for over 10 years now. And Len Thompson's been around for 95 years. So before we hit record on the podcast, we were kind of joking that, welcome to the shit show, because I think behind every business, there's a lot going on. But it is definitely a very unique story, and a unique product that's in the tackle boxes of a lot of Canadians out there.
I don't think you're allowed to say poop show. Is this a PG show? I don't know.
PG-13.
Is it PG-13? Oh, good.
We let it roll. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
Good.
That's acceptable.
Yeah, no,
I think
that's
I would
sure.
use that on our own podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
these days,
Yeah.
these days for sure would use that on our own podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
We're getting a little spicy. It's late night. We're recording this later in the evening than we normally do. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's
the-
pretty well 8:30 here, so later for us too. But like you said, it might make it more entertaining. So yeah, no, that's pretty sweet there. And then Brad, you kind of entered the company around the same time too.
No, I entered the company 3 years before you, Jess.
I think so.
Yeah. So I joined first. I was a business banker at RBC, and Dad came to me one day. He said, "Do you want to be a business banker when you grow up, or do you want to be a business owner?" And so I guess I followed my heart, and there's definitely, I don't have any major regrets about that, but boy, oh boy, they're very different, being a business banker versus a business owner. I joined in 2011, I think, and worked with Dad, like directly, for 2 years. And then he said, "I'm kind of done. I'm retired. You got this." So I definitely needed some extra help, and Jess had a different career at the time, and I said, "I need somebody just like you. Would you like to come come work here, or would you like me to hire somebody that's just like you? And that's kind of how that's kind of how we entered, really.
Right. No, that's totally fair.
That's super
Jesse,
cool.
did I kind of off topic here, but on brand with the company? Did you get a new tattoo recently?
I did get a new tattoo recently, yes.
Are they aware of it?
But they are aware of it. I think I had it already by the time they were here. Did I not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was the first person to get a tattoo. And then after I made the initial push, some new ideas were generated, or some new stencils, and because Brad and Jess were up here, it was adapted, I guess,
Are
to
you
match.
blaming us?
No.
Not blaming. No.
No, we need to take credit for this.
Improving. It was
Improving.
It was
Improving.
improving
Okay,
what we
thank you.
had. Yes.
So
It was improving what I had already.
yes.
And yeah, I don't know how specific you want to get here, Logan.
I don't need to know where it is. I just want you to say what it is.
What I have, or what the improved version? The improved version's much better.
I don't know. All I've seen is a very simple one. I don't know what the improved version is. Is it PG?
The improved version had the diamonds
Brad.
in the right format. That's all I'm trying to
Oh
say.
no, Jesse.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa! I don't even have diamonds on me, okay? And I'm really missed out.
Okay.
The stencils,
But
the stencils that were being circulated had the diamonds in the wrong formation. And I kind of looked at it. I said, "Well, guys, you're all Canadians. You better have the Canadian 5 of diamonds with the diamond in the middle, not the American version with the diamonds at the bottom." I mean, it was just my own
100%.
2 cents. Yeah.
The person who drew that original sketch was not a Fisher person, so we would have corrected that regardless, Brad.
Okay.
We would have said something.
Good.
But thank you. And but yes, so some people have tattoos of a 5 with 5 correctly aligned diamonds inside the 5.
Okay.
On their bodies, yes.
Okay,
it's
that's
it's
the
a
one
new
I
guide
saw.
tattoo.
And what do you have?
Just a 5.
Okay, just a 5.
He's gonna add
Which
the
we
diamonds
can't
later.
get into that. We can't get into that.
You can get
this
the
is
diamonds
not
later.
the place for it.
You can get
Okay.
the diamonds later. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
maybe
could just get Keena to add them in below or something. Yeah, no, I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Well,
Good.
we'll insert a
I'll
picture of
improve-
someone's
I'll
for a
improve
social
it.
post. Yeah. No, that's
Well,
good.
well,
So
it's
we
It's
can
very
show.
important.
We could show Adam Gamble's because Adam got the 5.
okay. And, Jesse, you gotta put your headphones back on.
I can hear you.
I know we can hear ourselves too.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to bring up my tattoo. I got all hot and sweaty there.
Oh, hot
Sorry, I
bothered over
didn't,
there.
I didn't have it in the show notes just to keep you surprised, but I guess this is what happens when 4 podcasters get together. Like I mentioned earlier, we went on a good tangent there, but yeah, I guess as far as
just
Go ahead.
for clarifications, I go, my dad, my best friend, his dad do one fly-in lodge a year. And so I've been to, I don't know, maybe a dozen fly-in lodges, maybe 15 in my life. And I've never been to a lodge where there's tattoos involved. So there you go.
well, it might just been right time because I don't think there was tattoos going on when I was up there for my 3 years.
This is definitely a first. It was definitely a grain bin first, no doubt.
Yeah. If the grain bins walls could talk, yeah. No, that's good. I thought you were gonna have something nice to say about the guides, but no, first place with tattoos.
Yeah. Well,
It left it up to interpretation if it's good or bad. Just
Yeah,
say
exactly.
it's the first one that I've seen
Yeah.
doing it.
At least it was pretty legit. It was a legit tattoo gun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, it's a proper tattoo gun. She's very sanitary, or it's okay. I already said she. She was very sanitary.
Yeah.
Very
professional.
Well, you don't care. You were the first one to go, anyways.
And everyone just kind of. Oh, go
Mama
ahead.
Jess
Go ahead,
came
Jess.
out during that process. I think I was more nervous than the people who were getting tattooed. But it was 1,000% the mom and me. She was very on
Concerned.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you made the trek over across the Guideland Bridge.
I did.
Started looking around, going, should
I
tattoos
flew
be
Jesse's
happening
drone.
here? Oh, okay.
And I didn't crash into a tree.
She came across multiple times.
That in itself is courageous.
We were having fun with the guides. We were having fun. They were
Guys,
good.
It's a good group. A very
A good group. Yeah.
Well, that's good. So you guys had Adam as your guide, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you guys were a 3-day trip?
Yep.
Okay. That's about the extent of what I know, so I get a good on those two questions. How did the fishing go? We don't have to ask what you guys were using because obviously it was going to be some Len Thompsons, but how was the fishing?
So to answer your first question, it was majority Len Thompsons. There may have been some action on some other products as well. Mm-hmm. No shame admitting that. But to put it in perspective, Brad has... It's well documented on our own podcast that Brad's luck isn't necessarily the best when it comes to the fishing world. So, we were texting Adam before our trip, and he kept saying, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We're going to get you on a 40. We're going to get you on a 40 Laker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Brad's like, Adam, just stop telling me that. I'm going to be so disappointed. And we're literally having that exact same conversation that we had over text in the boat as we cruise out to our first spot. Put down, not a Len Thompson. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
They put down the hot bait of the day before. It was a Bondi. I'm allowed to say that. You guys have called out Bondi before on your podcast.
Yep. They make a good product.
Of course. They're great.
They make a good product.
And within 2 minutes, Brad hooked into a 42-inch lake trout, which is the largest lake trout of his life. So that's how our trip started.
Now,
so
for
it's
the
downhill
record,
from there.
now, for the
It
record,
was just awful after that.
for the record, I did say after that, I was like, okay, well, now I definitely can't use a Bondi. Now I just got to fish Len Thompson's for the rest of the trip. And we caught a lot of high 30s fish on Len Thompson and a Northern King, M80 as well. But yes, the biggest fish of that trip was on a Bondi.
We essentially retired the Bondi after that. We used it a little bit. We tried the Bondi Burb for a bit when we just kept catching the smaller ones. Rats, I think you call them.
Brats.
Yeah.
Rats, yeah.
And
hate those rats.
we were mostly using number 4s. We were also using 2s, which are the smaller 1 ounce bait, quite a bit. Adam has some custom lures that he's made with us that are this nickel plated spoon with a hot flame and then a nickel blue, and we use that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that one
I did
crushes.
hook into one that was a heartbreaker. It was significantly bigger than the 42 as far as fight was concerned. It just it did not move. I knew it wasn't a log, but it was a log. It was very heartbreaking.
Just kind of stops you in your tracks.
Yeah. And we thought we may have even had it on the camera, but we didn't get it on the camera. So
That's
just
that's
a
too
fish
bad,
story.
but at least now you have to go back.
Yep.
Darn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how did it go
shucks.
for pike?
To be fair, I imagine, but to be fair, that 42 that you guys dropped down on probably would have ate whatever just happened to be in front of it, and it just so happened to be that Bondi. I mean, like, to just pull up to a spot and drop down on a fish like that, I feel like it would have ate a Len Thompson as well. It just happened to be right place, right time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, but nonetheless, I did have to retire the Bondi after that because I had to try to catch a bigger fish on Len Thompson after that.
Of course.
And I think I did catch a bigger fish, but I didn't land a bigger fish. Didn't even get to see it. Got it up to 62 feet on the reel, and it did 3 of these head shakes, and it was gone.
Yeah, no,
That hurts.
That's always a tough one, but at least you did have that 42. It's always nice. Did Brad only get the 40-40?
I sadly did not get the 40-40 club.
Okay.
I
Well,
did
now you
not
really
get
need
the
to go
knife.
again.
I did get the largest pike of the trip.
You did.
Oh, nice.
I railed on a 42.
43.
Oh, yeah, it was 43, right.
Yep.
Just a 43.
Yeah.
And then I think my largest Laker was 38, so I got close, but not quite.
Okay. And keep in mind, this is for listeners that have been up there, right? They're usually up there for 6 days. This is half of the trip, right? With a 3 day. So
Also,
those
it's a
numbers.
38-inch Laker. Like it's huge.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear as guides, because it's kind of, you get that 40-40 club, and that's just a benchmark. Anything below it, blah, right?
Yeah.
Lots of people can get like that, but yeah, 38-inch Laker. I mean, even sometimes the fight's even better with those 30, 37, 38s, 39s kind of thing. And you're never going to say no to a 40-plus Laker, but yeah, still trophy fishing. Same with pike, right? Those 37, 38, 39, those are all still nice pike. But when you set that benchmark, it makes it kind of tougher. But no, that's stellar. And were you guys fishing a little bit deeper water, or were you still in the bays? I was just thinking of the spoons for pike, but you guys were there in July.
It was all deep.
Okay,
Well,
so
no,
that works out well.
The pike
But
were
the
in
pike
the
was
bays.
shallow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
No,
we were using 8 ounce, I think 8 ounce banana weights, and most of the time we were using a 4 extra heavy Len Thompson for trolling for the Lakers.
right.
Logan will know this. We were fishing Morris Channel. That's where the lake trout were. When
Were they?
Yeah.
Well, and actually, that kind of goes in well to what I was going to mention. So, my very first year up there with my first set of clients, Mike and Deb, I doubt they're listening. I don't think they're much into the technology, but she might be. I don't know if she still listens. But I had raided my dad's tackle box a long time ago, and of course, you take all the Len Thompsons out of there, and he'd had them from when he did his fly-ins from a long time ago. But they were always coming, like, or from the stories at least, it seems like they were at these fly-ins a week after the ice was off, and all the Lakers are up shallow, and they would just slackline the number 4s and hammer on those kind of thing. And they're also great for pike. You toss them up into the reeds, they smack the water, and they're getting big pike on those too. So I was like, I'm going to guide up north. I'm going to take these from all the stories I've heard. And in that first week of guiding, I think it was at least 4 trout over 40 with the number 4 Len Thompsons, just slacklining them. I hadn't really gotten into doing any of the weights, and some of those, that's where it all comes together, was in Morris Channel. Actually, Deb finished hers on the last day, finished off her 40-40 club in Morris Channel as well. So those kind of full circle there with the Len Thompson. And yeah, when you talk about the extra heavies, because you guys sent those up, was that 3 years ago? Would that have been?
Yeah,
for all the guides?
I think they were. We sent them up because Adam's a ambassador for us, and we said, hey, take a bunch of these up to the guides and get some feedback before we launch them the next year. So you guys were prototypers, really.
Yeah, well, and if you, I don't know if you saw the thumbnail for that last episode, that was one of those spoons in that lake trout's mouth. One of the extra heavies. And Jesse also called me out. Oh, what was that?
I did notice
Okay.
that. Long time,
And that was
long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That fish actually was just caught on the backside of the island. So if you ever headed north, Adam would have gone out and around the island. It was caught on the backside of the Lodge Island with that one. But yeah, those were awesome, having that extra weight in the spoon, and especially for early spring when I was up there, not really having to worry too much about adding weight and just relying on the spoon. That was sure nice, and it caught a ton of fish. So I guess thank you in person for the first time. I think I did email back then or something like that. But yeah, I still got those in my pile of tackle. That's currently a mess over.
I was
on my
using
desk,
some
but
today that I had gotten from 3 years ago, and actually my biggest pike this week was caught on an extra heavy 5 of diamonds. Go figure.
Now, if we
So-
can only
the
get
tattoo.
that Zach Brown to bring a few in, then maybe.
He's
That
a tough
guy-
nut to crack.
Having that guy he's got so many lures. I don't know if you saw his cabin there. It's ridiculous.
I
So
was
if your
teasing
lure
him
gets
most of the
chosen,
trip about that.
oh okay, yeah,
There's a different spoon
Zach's
brand
got
at the
tampons.
lodge, so I had to tease him about it.
right, yeah. but we're Canadian here, so this is why we're focused on the Len Thompson. So I guess, did you have any more to talk about with the trip, or should we get into the meat and potatoes here?
It's your show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there's anything cool, anything else that was sweet that you want to talk about on the trip.
The neatest thing I saw up there, by far, was I do not understand how Adam Gamble walks barefoot on a gravel beach. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like a superpower.
If you've known him long enough, you just know he's weird.
Yeah, at Shoreline, he's just wandering around like gravel. If I step on a Lego piece, it takes me to my knees, and he's just wandering around like a... Anyways, that's probably the most amazing thing I saw.
And not like nice little pebble rock. Like there was some ankle busters in there. Like
jagged, angry looking things. Yeah.
Yeah, he would just say, "'Cause I can," and continue to do it.
Because I can, yeah.
He's just living his best life up there.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, in summary, we had an incredible trip. The fishing was amazing. We had one, I think, slow afternoon. We had one day of smoke, one day of rain, and one perfect bluebird day. So we had a little bit of everything. And one of the things I had most fun doing is we found this one bay, and I could not keep, and this might drive other people crazy, but because I don't take a lot of time to do these trips, I couldn't keep these little pike off. Like, it was every single cast. I was catching a pike, and I was just having the time of my life.
And you could see them all too.
And then they made me move because they were looking for the big fish. They were just jealous.
Yeah, no,
that's funny.
that'll happen. Well, that's what you want to hear from clients that come up there. So if anyone sees on their docket for whatever lodge that the Len Thompson crew's come up there, know it'll be a good time, because I've had clients who we were slower till about 10 a.m. and we ended the day with 170 fish and a 47-inch pike. And we got back to the dock, and he said, "It was too bad the morning was slow." And it was said in a way that I don't know if it was a joke, but from how the whole week had gone, I don't think it was a joke. Yeah. And so I was like, well, okay, I don't know what else I could do there. But yeah, when you're happy with everything that's going on there, that's always nice to hear. So,
like Jess said, I've got poor luck, so I was thrilled. Like, I've been to a fair number of lodges, and the lodge, the fish gods were happy with me up there, anyways. Or maybe they didn't know I was up there. Maybe they didn't know I was up there. I was hiding from them, so they
weren't paying attention.
It was too remote.
Yeah, too remote, so they removed their curse. Yeah.
No, they couldn't quite touch it here.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, I think that's a good recap of the trip there, and you did touch on it a bit, but for the listeners that are not sure, kind of, Brad, do you want to give a brief history on Len Thompson, and then we'll take it from there?
Sure. So Len was our great-grandfather. He was a farmer in a little community of 200 people called Abernethy, Saskatchewan, between Yorkton and Regina. And he was a farmer by trade, and in and around 1929, he was not happy with what he could find commercially available to purchase for lures. So he started whittling away at plugs and banging away at pieces of metal and experimenting in the Katipwa Lakes until he found a shape that seemed to outperform most everything else. And so him and his farm hands decided to make it a part-time business in 1929. So they would farm in the summer, and then they would make lures in the winter. And they did that up until 1945, after World War II. They couldn't get much metal during the war, but that was actually a good thing, because all those Len Thompson lures that were made before the war were lost. Demand spiked, and he said, "I got so many orders, I guess I'm going to try a full-time business out of this gig." So leased out the farmland, leased out a building in Abernethy, turned it full-time in 1945. In 1958, my grandpa Pallister, who would be Len's son-in-law, and Len moved the factory to Lacombe, Alberta. So at the time, they'd outgrown Abernethy, and they were looking for a community that had naturally soft water, and that was about the right size, kind of that 2,000, 3,000 person community. So they picked Lacombe, and business kept growing. Our dad joined in 1974, and I think our grandpa retired in about the 80s, somewhere in the 80s, and Jess and I joined in 2011. So that's kind of the history in a nutshell, I guess.
So you guys got a lot more years to go to equal the years of those two before you then, hey?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Well, and our dad still, he still comes in almost every day.
Yeah.
He's kind of out of the day-to-day, but he cuts the grass, and he's been putting together a lot of lures for us lately, which is really nice and helpful.
Yeah.
And he just comes in and putzes around and usually yells at his computer during the winter. In the summer, he doesn't usually touch his computer. And he's our family historian. He spent a lot of time kind of writing down the history and making sure that doesn't get lost, which is a really super important and special.
And he's a flexible landlord.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are all good
we
things.
are his tenants, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that works out well. That's one thing that I thought would be really interesting about this episode is actually having that history to go off, right? Because you can talk to lots of other people, and if they're, no, I shouldn't say just an employee, but if they're an employee and not family of that company, they might not have as good of an idea of the actual history. So when you can mention the fact that they're looking for a place for naturally softer water in a smaller town, like you wouldn't get that kind of information from just anyone, right? So I guess with that, are you able to dive into, I kind of piqued my interest into why he was looking for a place with naturally soft water? Does that have to do with the lures? Okay.
So there was no such thing as chemicals or soft water polishers that could do that for you back then. So it was really important for making the brass shiny. All of the dyes that we use, he worked on in some way or another, which is also pretty cool. So
cool.
when I mean dye, I mean basically the template that gets stamped out. The punch press that he bought used in 1945 is still a piece of working history. It still punches out the number 4s.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of nuzzled in with the punch press that we use for everything else, which is a bit more powerful, but he was such a big part in our grandfather, who is kind of known for being Mr. Fix-It and for doing a lot of research and development. They were big anglers, so they really developed something that worked and stood the test of time. And I love, Logan, I cannot stress to you how much I love hearing stories of people who are avid anglers who stole the lures out of their dad's or their grandpa's tackle boxes, because it speaks to, we still make them the same way. They still work. They work 3 seasons later. They work 3 decades later. It's just so cool when you can hear stories like that.
And I don't know, like, as far as designs go, say a red and white or 5 of diamonds, like, is that something that, like, everyone's is kind of different depending on the different company, but is that something that originated with you guys, or like how does that work?
So up until the late 40s, the spoons were just brass, so they weren't really painted much at all. There might be a little bit of experimentation, but not like in terms of like a commercial kind of a thing. So the original 5 of diamonds was a Len Thompson creation. So we don't know why, unfortunately. I don't understand why my dad didn't ask Len, or, like, hey, where did the 5 of diamonds ever come from? I shouldn't say that.
How'd you produce the best pattern ever?
Well, so it wasn't super popular until the 80s for some reason. Like, it was popular, but it was not as popular as it was. So I guess that's maybe why Len passed away in 76. So I assume that's why they never asked him, hey, why'd you make a 5 diamonds kind of a pattern? There's some theories behind it that Len was actually colorblind and he could see yellows and reds better than anything else, and he assumed that maybe that would translate to the fish seeing it better. But as to why there's 5 diamonds, that's a piece of history that's lost to the ages right now. So
What we do have on paper, history-wise, is that the first 5 of diamonds that was labeled as a 5 of diamonds was sold in the 50s. So we have invoices that say 5 of diamonds was sold in the 50s.
Yeah,
so
1950.
It's been around.
1950 was the first one. So yeah, we can definitely claim that.
It's crazy.
We own the trademark for 5 of diamonds, so that doesn't mean people can't make 5 of diamonds. They just can't call it a 5 of diamonds. So, so they can make a 5. They can make a lure with yellow with 5 red diamonds on it, no problem. But they just can't call it a 5 of diamonds.
Okay, a yellow and 5 slanted squares.
Exactly.
No, that's pretty sweet. I mean, that's something that even before I had any ties whatsoever to knowing much about Len Thompson, or obviously being up there with Adam and stuff like that, seeing you guys' stuff on social, I'd always, like, when I was younger and even didn't know as much about fishing, just you would troll whatever for walleye and you'd toss a red and white or a 5 of diamonds for pike, if that's what you were targeting at the time. And I'd always, like, guys would bring other brands or whatever of spoon. I'm like, just buy the Len Thompson. Like, whether it's the hook itself is way heavier and better than lots of the other brands that for some reason wanted to go lighter. I said, and the hooks too. I don't know what you guys do for your hooks, but the trebles on your guys' lures are always top notch as
Very
well.
strong.
Like, I haven't had one bend. I've snapped them when I'm not like if I'm hanging on and the fish freaks out all of a sudden. I've snapped it, but I've never bent one of those hooks, I don't think. So the quality of the hooks that comes on them is awesome as well. So I kind of would always tell my buddies that.
So we get our hooks specially made to be stronger than a typical treble. So they have to do special runs of the hooks that we order to make them stronger.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Which is
4 times
love
hardened,
that.
a little bit higher gauge wire. Yeah, we have to buy lots of them, but they don't go bad, and they're not that expensive, relatively speaking, I guess. So they don't take up that much space. So you just buy a whole bunch, and
Right.
yeah, I
That's
actually,
awesome.
one of our biggest customers, I didn't tell you this, Jess, but one of our biggest customers who's from out east, he said, Brad, I just need to compliment you guys and your quality and that hooks. And he's like, those hooks, they just don't break. And he's like, as a matter of fact, I was fishing with a competitor product, and the hook just, broke off. So I took the hook off of yours and put it on the competitor's. I was like, Mark, what the hell? Just leave the hook on the lure and use the Len Thompson. Why you got to put it on the other guys? Like,
That's right.
Yeah.
Come on.
and he's like, oh, sorry, I'm
people-
from Ontario. I was like, yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
We kind of tease people sometimes because a phrase we hear a lot is, if all else fails, throw on a 5 of diamonds. We're like, just put it on to begin with.
Or
True.
a Bondi white, grubby looking thing every now and then. That works okay too.
Every now and then, it's fine.
Right.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
different ways to fish. Let's face it.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
and that could be like Len Thompson could be falling victim to the issue that I heard a quote this a couple weeks ago, but like there's the 4 stages to fishing. The first stage is wanting to catch a fish. The second stage is wanting to catch a bunch of fish. The third stage is wanting to catch a big fish, and then the 4th stage is wanting to catch fish or a big fish on what you want to use. So everyone knows that a Len Thompson 5 of diamonds works, right? And so then I don't know if it's just people with shorter attention spans now. They always want to try something else instead of just instantly going to success. So that could be it.
Or something
But
that they
I
paid a
agree
lot
with
of
you.
money for that's got to work. Like,
Yes.
I mean, that thing looks
Yeah.
like it's going to catch the biggest. It's got to work. So,
Right. Yeah, kind of. That's the thing I always laugh about when you go into lots of the big stores too. You could spend so much money on stuff that's meant to catch the shopper and not the fish, when there is something that is as simple as a spoon that is money all the time. So
Yeah,
that's-
catches
I
all
always
fish.
laugh.
Big,
Yes.
small, everything. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna get them.
Well, I
Yeah.
think from a legacy perspective, I mean, it's one of the reasons we've been around for so long is that it's the simplest way to catch fish. It's an introductory way to catch fish. It's an economical way to catch fish. So you know, it has all of those really beautiful bonus points to it.
Yeah. The Canada flag one slays as well. Not to get too off topic, but I used that one for a long time.
That's a red
that
and
one
white.
is- yeah.
Super patriotic too.
Well, it's like what are those ones like the 5-pack that you can get at Cabela's or wherever? I think it came in one of those. There's like a number 4 or 5 of diamonds and red and white, and then it's a smaller size, the Canada flag one. At least this is years ago, but
Yeah, I feel like that was a Canadian Tire thing, wasn't it?
No, it's everywhere. You can get it anywhere you want.
It's
If you're talking
fair.
about the 3-piece kit, it has a yellow, red, a red and white, and then the Canadian.
okay, that's
In
probably
it.
it. Yeah. No, that's fair. Well, this is just pinging all different questions in my head. But did you have anything, Jesse? I got to be talking before you the whole time here.
I'd be curious to know. Well, obviously, there's like the legendary 5 of diamonds, but is there going to be a pattern that ever trumps it? Like, so you said the first 5 of diamonds was in 1980 when it got popular.
When it got popular.
So it's been very popular. So it's been very popular and working for 45 to 60 years, let's say. Will the fish ever get tired of it? Or in your opinion, what's like the next big pattern? Is it Adam's Angling Adventures pattern?
The aha,
The aha.
as
The
we're
aha?
calling it. We're calling it the aha. The Adam Haley
like it.
adventure, we decided.
Because Haley
The aha.
apparently designed it. So
Oh,
Haley
okay.
designed it apparently. So
So that's why he's gonna marry. her.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so the aha.
Yeah.
Jesse?
That's nothing.
The answer to your question is, it is difficult to see how that's possible at this stage. We sell a ton of 5 of diamonds. Now, having said that, we do have different colors of 5 of diamonds with different paint technology. So we have an ultra glow 5 of diamonds now, and we have a UV. We have a couple UV painted 5 of diamonds. So we played
Orange and
around
black.
with the original concept a little bit. And we have dabbled into a bunch of ultra glow patterns, and still, I mean, it's a high mountain to climb to usurp the king of the patterns, I guess. So
Do you want to hear a story?
I would love to.
A super quick story. So when Brad joined the business in 2011, I think he said, all fresh-faced and bushy-tailed. I don't think that's the right term, but
had a lot of hair.
He
A lot of hair.
a lot of hair back then, and we have a very traditional business. And our dad's a fairly traditional guy, and there wasn't a ton of innovation. And one of the first things that Brad suggested, he's like, I'm going to do a lemon and flame 5 of diamonds.
UV
I'm
paint.
doing it
UV paint. Yeah.
with UV paint. Like, you're not going to commit, like, I'm going to launch a new pattern. And there was almost a revolt.
Yep.
I was like, so much change.
Yeah, he almost pulled the owner card. Yeah.
That was a
Dang.
lot of change, and now it is in the top probably 5 of our best-selling patterns. So it's still a 5 of diamonds, but you never know. It could just be a little tweak. It could just be that little tweak that surpasses it eventually.
Right.
Crazy.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. I like that. Like some companies can kind of go all over the place trying to find the next biggest thing, but when you've got something that's tried and true, why potentially ruin that by going way out to left field too, right? But I mean, when things are working, you obviously stick to those guns too, because they've been catching fish forever. Like I'm just getting all these flashbacks. So I'd cast off my dock for 7-8 hours at a time, just standing there casting in a fan nonstop, and it's just whipping a red and white nonstop. So nothing's biting 5 of diamonds nonstop. And I've gone like 7 hours off the dock and not caught anything, but I'm like, I'm just gonna keep casting. Then other days it's walleye, it's pike, even perch coming on the spoons too. And so that was a lot of my time at Buffalo Pound in the summers before I could drive any tinner or anything like that. But yeah, getting back to some of the manufacturing stuff. Who gets to put on all the hooks, or is that done by a machine?
Everything is done by hand.
Okay. That's what I figured from some of the stuff I'd seen, that lots of it was by hand, or like you said, everything pretty well. So do you want to just explain that process a little bit from start to finish?
Well, if I may plug us a little bit, if you go on to our social media feeds, we post quite a few videos of behind the scenes in terms of how we paint them. I'll post one just for you, Logan. When
Thank
this
you.
goes live, I will post one of them being assembled, just so that it's nice and fresh and at the top of the feed. But we obviously use a machine to punch them out because you can't do that by hand, but it is operated by a person. They get polished in-house, and then they get loaded onto trays for painting. Everything's airbrushed by hand, so one color at a time, one spoon at a time. They get loaded up onto circular trays, and you kind of pull them around, mask them up, put the details on, pull it around, mask it up, put the details on. They get baked in a giant oven to cure the paint, and then they get quality tested, and then eventually hand assembled for the hooks and the rings, and loaded off to packaging.
There you go. That's
But someone doesn't actually stand there with split ring pliers and just put every
this
split
is
ring on.
I cannot
actually-
believe how fast our team is at that.
This is actually so this happened within the last since I've been here. We don't use split ring pliers, never have, but a little paring knife almost that doesn't have a sharp blade anymore to help open it up and then twist it on. And then we had an employee, I think it was Jeannie Jess, who
Very well cooked.
found a technique to not even use the split ring pliers and then just finds a sweet spot and actually puts the rings on without any tool whatsoever. And I would
Just
say
hands,
just finds a sweet spot, pushes it on. I would say that at least half of our team now does not use even a knife to help open it up. They just put them on, and it's all Greek to me. I can't see how they do it, but
Wow.
they're pretty fast.
I gotta go get a spoon after this and go try this.
They would definitely beat you in a thumb war. I bet you that.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
jack.
Yeah, just
That is legitimately something that when we have somebody start with us and I do orientation, I warn them. I'm like, your fingers are going to be sore for the first couple of weeks because it's all muscle memory and training. It takes a lot of time to get speedy.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, to not even use the. Well, I guess sometimes too with split ring pliers, if you're not getting open enough, you can chip paint and stuff too. So I'm guessing this process leads to obviously chipping, or else I guess it couldn't go out, right?
limited shipping. Yep.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's
But
crazy.
But it's interesting, Logan, because you asked the question about it being put on by machine, and I think a lot of people do think because we are a longer term legacy brand that we're bigger than we are. We're definitely a very well-recognized brand, especially in the Western Canadian space. But we're still a family-run and operated business. And people still make these things one at a time by hand because we just don't make enough to invest in that automation. We've looked into it, but there's just so many different variations that make it really difficult to do that. And we've also made the choice to continue making these in Canada when you're competing with a lot of offshore product. So for anybody who chooses to support us as a Canadian-made company, we're just so grateful that they make the choice to do that instead of maybe purchasing an offshore product that might be a little bit cheaper. Just know that it supports a Canadian company and Canadian people working in Lacombe, Alberta, and not a lot of people know that.
We have 30 people that work for us.
Oh wow, that's a good size. Yeah. So, and I guess that's the other thing too, is lots of people, and myself included, obviously you always want to be using quality gear, but before I went up north and you're consistently battling 40-inch plus fish, you don't realize how good your gear needs to be. Like you can, just thinking of say some of the wire leaders you can get out there. Well, I would only put those on and toss around for pike down here, and yeah, you get some good sized pike and everything, but you take some of those up north, some of the different brands of those, and you're going to be popping that off in no time, right? So I do like as well that all the other components, not just the spoon, but your swivels and the split rings that are going on the spoons are also like, those aren't breaking either.
Yeah, those are all
that's
made in North America too. So we only use North American made components. Canadian or American made components, I should say. So
right.
Yeah, it's only American made or Canadian made. So it's 100% North American made.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if there'd be many people listening that don't know what a Len Thompson is, so I'm sure lots of people know what I'm talking about when I mention the strength and whatever of lots of the hooks and whatnot. But yeah, it's just that's one thing I've always liked, like I mentioned, since I was younger, is the quality of it. And with that, I guess you had mentioned, I don't know if it was when we were recording yet, but there's more than just Len Thompson going on with you guys.
Yeah, we got a few things going on now. In 2016, we acquired a trolling spoon brand out of the Great Lakes called Northern King. Lighter gauge, still premium quality, but usually designed to run off a downrigger. We were using some of the bigger 6-inch trolling spoons up in Lac La Martre, and they were working pretty well too. And then last year we made a pretty big acquisition. We acquired a company out of Victoria called Hotspot Lures. They primarily do flashers for saltwater. Well, I shouldn't say saltwater, for deep water trolling. And they have another lure called an Apex lure. So actually lots of people use them for lake trout too, apparently. But they really are very popular for trout and kokanee in kind of that interior lakes BC and interior lakes United States. So so that's been a big project. We moved the factory from Victoria over the last year. Last year we moved it June, July, and August, and then unpacked it here, and then started to play catch up. And actually, we just pretty much caught up this week for the first time. So,
nice.
Pretty excited about
good
that.
Job.
Actually,
Ooh.
yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Yay, team!
Yeah.
Yay team, yeah. So, it's been a lot more. I always knew it was going to be more work, but I don't think I thought it was going to be this much work to move a factory.
Right.
We really needed that 3 days in nature.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Jess and I were getting grumpy.
My eyes started twitching as soon as I came back.
Yeah.
That's fair. So you mentioned that just a different lure type for more of the downrigger setup there. I was running one of the number 4 in it was the orange and black 5 of diamonds when I was up north in Saskatchewan for lake trout a month and a bit ago. What kind of makes a difference in the lure for to be used on a downrigger?
That's a good question. Most downrigging lures are a little lighter gauge, a little lighter, and so you use
More fluttery.
more fluttery. Yeah,
I guess you don't need the weight.
yeah, because you
right?
don't need the weight. You run it off the downrigger. So I would say that's probably, but somebody's probably going to call me out on that because, quite frankly, I'm not an expert in the subject matter yet. I'll make a confession to the dear listeners of this podcast. I have not caught a fish on an Apex lure yet.
Well, you've been busy,
I've been busy
moving
moving
factories.
factories for sure, but I'm not a subject matter expert, so it's it's definitely it's been a lot, but we're doing well.
Yeah, well, that's good. Well, we just lost Jesse, but we'll keep on rolling here. I'm sure he'll pop back in at some point. But no, that's pretty sweet. And so did you move? You said those two. I think did you only mention two other companies there? Was there 4? Was it supposed to be 3?
There's 4 brands. There's Len Thompson,
Oh, okay.
Northern King, Apex, and Hotspot.
Oh, okay. The
So
hotspot and
Apex and
Apex.
Hotspot are the same company.
Yeah.
But Hotspot's the flasher and Apex is the
The lure.
spoony plug.
The lure.
Is what
Okay.
what
Okay, no, that makes sense there. I lost that one there, but so now all of it's being done from one central location then.
Yep.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah, right here in Lacombe. That's
Sweet.
part of the reason why we're up to 30 now is because we hired up to. We were always kind of in that early 20s, I'd say.
20-ish.
Yeah, 20 to 24 maybe. But yeah, so we
Okay.
had to hire up to get her back going.
For sure. And kind of speaking on some of that, would you guys have any, like, over the years, obviously, of growing up around this, any kind of cool stories that come to mind from some relation to the Len Thompson brand or anything like that from when you were growing up?
Ugh.
When we were growing up, I can tell you the factory makes a really great place to play hide and seek.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like epic place to play hide and seek.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. You're in the
No,
middle of
that's okay.
friggin' nowhere.
Yeah, call Elon.
It's
Tell him you need
amazing
a
that you're
stable
even
internet
talking to
connection.
us.
Man, it really is millions of miles away.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But
I was just asking them if they had any memories growing up around the company or any stories in relation to it that kind of come to mind. And Jess was saying playing hide and seek in the factory. Was it what year did you say they moved it to Lacombe?
1958.
1958.
Okay. No, that checks out. So that would be kind of the only. Have you gone back to the old factory before? Or is it still around?
So it's been in 3 different locations in Lacombe. We've been in the building we're currently in since the 90s. So our dad built that. We were kids for
94.
sure. Yeah. Okay. There you
94.
Okay. Me and Jesse weren't even a thing yet.
go. Aww.
Close. Close.
Just
We
be
were close.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. Did you have anything else, Jesse, since you just had a little exit and re-entry? You think of anything in that time? Or are you more thinking, oh, crap, I lost connection?
No, I was thinking, oh crap, I texted you shit, and that's all I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I just hope everything saves and all
that's,
that.
That's fair. I guess before we get into some of the
I think
other
we'll be
stuff that
okay.
you're doing with Len Thompson, do you know where the...
Hold on, now I did.
Oh, here we go.
I do remember now. You were saying that you acquired like flashers and dodgers and trolling spoons, right? Just recently with what was the name? Sorry,
Hotspot is the flasher company.
not Northern King, but
Yeah. And Apex is
Okay.
the trolling lure.
did you bring any hotspot up here? I don't.
You know what, we
remember seeing
didn't.
any.
Honestly, Jesse, both Jess and I were like, it was a day before we were leaving, and we're just like, what are we even bringing? Like, we got. It was not ideal. It was not an ideal time to leave the factory.
We were also spoiled too because
Right.
Adam just said like, bring yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we brought some samples up for the guys,
sure, yeah.
and Brad brought like a little package up for just a few things to try. But yeah, we definitely didn't do any kind
Sure.
of. But also, I mean, flashers are designed for yes, lake trout and salmon fishing, but really deep depths. I'm not sure if you've ever used a flasher up there before.
Well, that's where I was leading to, because for next time you guys come up to Lac La Martre, bring some with you, because in the past, guides have trolled just the flasher with a single treble hook on the back on the inside corner, and you slow troll that behind your weight, and it crushes big lake trout.
Yeah.
Just the flasher itself, like just
With the
you're
treble
looking
on
at me
the
like I'm crazy.
No, I'm not.
No,
It's-
no, that
Yeah.
makes
The
sense.
thing I'm contemplating is how
Yeah.
silly it was for me not to bring a flasher up with me, or a Apex lure of this brand. Maybe I was just so sick of it that I just didn't even want to see him for 3 days.
fair.
That could have been
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I can only imagine how busy and complicated those times would have been for the last year of overtaking that. That
Yeah,
would have been stressful,
it's been-
no doubt. So
I think a year from now we'll look back at it and with a little bit more positivity, because even like moving the factory, it was not so. At the time we were moving the factory, the first couple weeks it was kind of neat, and then the next 8 to 10 weeks I was like, okay, like I need to get out of here. I need to get back with my family. We rented a condo in Victoria, and I kind of lived there for the most part. But now I kind of look back on that time. I'm like, actually, that was kind of neat. Kind of a neat adventure that you don't do very often. And we had a nice. We had a condo in a nice part of the neighborhood. Like it was. You could throw a rock at the water almost. It was kind of neat, and yeah, it was kind of. So hopefully that same positivity.
We have learned so much,
back.
and we have seen so much growth in our
Yeah,
team.
for sure.
I'm so proud of
Yeah.
them because they although we trained there, the original owner trained our staff and was a little bit removed from that process. So a lot of it we had to kind of figure out on this end, and they've flourished so much. And it's difficult when you're in the moment because you're getting all this pressure from customers to refill pegs after you've been shut down for a certain amount of time. That's the business pressure side. But to be, like I said, I clapped when we said we were officially caught up, because that's a huge deal to be able to do that at just over a year. And that includes moving and hiring and training and unpacking and renovating. We had to renovate, find space, move space, purge. Like it was a huge year for sure.
I believe that.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
And-
happy it was you and not me, because I would have not handled that.
Well, and Brad forgot to mention the one really big bonus of going back and forth to Victoria so much is he got gold status with WedgeJet.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Which we have been reaping the rewards of this year, because you only get it for a certain amount of time. So
I
like
won't-
when we travel for shows now, we get to use the lounge pass.
Lounge is
and-
Nice.
Right?
I probably won't be gold this year, or this year coming up.
No.
But this year's been kind of fun. It's like, just
Yeah.
unlimited lounge passes. So hey, I got half an hour. I'll just go into the lounge and have a quick bite to eat. And
Have a mimosa.
maybe have a coffee and Bailey's. It's kind of, I feel like an important big business mogul.
This man.
yeah,
One step short of a private jet.
yes,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's-
you're
right
right
there.
there. You're
right
right
there.
there.
that could be the next acquisition.
That'll be next
Yeah.
year.
yeah.
Maybe give us, a few years to try to like chip away at our business loan first, and then we'll go from there before
with
we invest in the private jet. But no, Apex and Hotspot also have a really cool history. They've been around for 60 years. The owner it was really important to him to keep it in Canada, so I think it fit both of our values well, and we can diversify a little bit because. Maybe this is getting a little too businessy, but brass is really expensive, and we have to rely a lot on that price of brass staying level, which it has not. So just to have that diversity in materials that we're using and in market, it'll be good for us. It's going to be great.
It's gonna be so good.
It's going to be so good.
There you go. Positivity mindset. That's good. So do you guys have are you guys just always busy or steady, or is it like a busy time of year and a slower time of year? Is there any kind of that?
Yes.
Doesn't yes.
Both things. Our production's pretty much busy all the year. We definitely have busier shipping periods when orders you kind of build up and you ship out early spring. That's kind of our busiest for shipping. And then in terms of customer service, summer is obviously quite busy. We get a lot of people who stop in at the factory who go check out the world's largest lure and just want to pop in and see what it's all about. They want a tour. They pick up a couple spoons. they email you their pictures. You're, dealing with that side of things. And the fall is our show season where we're traveling around and
Getting bookings.
seeing customers. So
Right.
yeah, so it's
I would say the
always busy for different
slowest-ish
reasons.
time is January, February. Yeah, January,
Okay.
February. We're not really shipping outs for spring yet. We're sort of thinking about some projects for the summer, but we're not there yet. So January, February is probably when I would say that the 2 months that it's not quite crazy.
Okay. And would either of you have a general idea of how many spoons you could pump out in a day?
I have a very good idea of that. I look at it every friggin' day.
Oh.
That's good. I figured someone might.
Well, how many did you put out today? Like
Today was a little
today? That would be
disappointing. I
amazing.
think it was only 1,800. They obviously weren't assembling as much. So we average about 4,000 a day in a year.
Dang.
There's some days that it's just a few hundred because maybe a bunch of people called in sick and they just try to keep the paint room going and nobody's on assembly. And then there's some days that we shut the paint room down and the team just assembles lures and we do like 12,000 in a day. So,
Okay.
But yeah, it works out to about 4,000 lures a day.
Wow. That's crazy. The nice thing is, you guys should almost run some kind of ad to try and make fishing line worse. That way people lose more and then they get more.
So
Brad has said the
You're onto
worst thing to
something
happen
there.
to our business is braided line.
yeah,
Because
braided. Whoever invented braided line can kiss my butt because that was not good for lure sales when you're catching big pike and big lake trout and a bunch of walleye with sharp teeth.
Well,
So
Somebody on our social media today asked me, and I've been asked this question a few times before, but they asked if we repaint spoons, like repaint their old spoons.
Oh, geez.
And
That would take the luck away.
I replied, no, we don't, politely. And then they're, oh, well, that's too bad. And they were kind of cranky about it. But how else are we going to sell new shiny ones?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you could have said we do for the price of 5 new ones.
Exactly. It takes so much setup. But anyways,
Yeah.
we build them
Yeah.
to last, and we're proud of that. But yes, if one ends up snagging a rock, that is how we funded our college educations. So thank you for that.
so can you?
Just start dumping
Or catch a
everywhere.
rivet on a boat because
Logan,
braid
can you
does
buy?
not like rivets
You
on
know,
a
you were
boat.
talking about those not quite as good, leaders. Maybe you could stock up on those your next trip up north.
Push those
Yeah.
on socials more.
Yeah.
Maybe go to the dollar store and see if they have anything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And I was kind of wondered about that. I was like, well, with the line and kind of advancements in technology and stuff, like, unless I'm snagged up north, I don't really know when I've ever really broken off, kind of, unless it's like a last resort because you're snagged. So, yeah, I can see why braid has become an issue, especially with the critters that like spoons,
Well,
mainly being
To
the
be fair,
trout
I
and the
think
pike.
that the impact of braid is, that was 10, 15 years ago. So we're still selling lots of lures every year. I say it a bit in jest and a bit not in jest because it would be so much nicer if they didn't have braid. But
Yeah.
Just
No,
imagine the dollar bills you'd be rolling in
private
if,
jet would
if
be-
braid was never invented.
that private jet would be right here then. But
Have you seen
Big
or
Braid
heard of
doesn't want you to
people
have
who
it.
are now snorkeling for fishing tackle all the time? Have you
Yeah,
seen his
especially
videos and
flash
things
ones.
like
I've seen the
that?
Yeah,
flasher
like
ones.
Ed the diver.
yeah, he can go dive for something else as far as I'm concerned because
And then he's selling them at his
I don't
own
like it.
profit. He's a cheeky
I don't
bugger.
like it.
Should we start talking about our efforts for environmental conservation now, just to
Yeah.
offset those
All right,
comments a
sorry,
little bit?
yes, sorry, right. I mean, I really like it. So I'm so happy that he's doing that for our planet.
Yeah. Well, and I think we could go to that, and then I'll write it down so I don't forget it.
No,
But
just
yeah,
ask away.
well, I think it would be a good balance there. So as much as we'd like people to keep buying the lures and whatnot, what's going on with the conservation side of things, as we kind of talked about that before we started recording?
I mean, depends on what you consider. In what aspect of conservation would you like to speak?
All of the ones that Len Thompson deals.
Well,
with.
first of all, if you buy a good quality made in Canada or product, you don't need to buy nearly as many. So then you're limiting the amount of waste that you have. You're limiting the amount of throwaways that you have. If you're using a metal spoon, it certainly doesn't get beat up as much as soft plastics. You don't get any soft plastics in the waterway. I'm just plugging a little things there, but in all seriousness, that is a helpful endeavor to the planet. And I remember somebody said to me when one of our team actually said when we were starting to make these plastic lures, and well, plastic going into the ocean, that's super bad, isn't it? And I just kind of said, the amount of plastic lures that make it into the ocean versus garbage bags or straws or whatever the heck else, it's just such a minor thing. And these are used for reusable, as opposed to, you get a net that goes down there and really messes things up versus a flasher that gets lost.
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's maybe the environmental side of things. Jess, did I miss anything there? Or
Yeah. Ethically made.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. It's everybody here. We're very fortunate in our team. We've got about a third of our team is more than 15 years working here. And then a third of our team is kind of in that 5 to 15 year mark. And then a third of our team usually revolves. So we get kids that come out of high school and they don't know what they want to be for a couple of years. So make fish hooks for a couple of years and then they move on, or somebody might move away because of a relationship or whatever. But we don't. We generally get to keep people when they stay with us. They want to stay for a while.
Right. Do you have anything for that, Jess?
Well, I mean, Jess or Jesse, which one?
Yeah,
I'll go with Jess because I don't know if Jesse knows anything.
I think we've made. Before we hit record, we were kind of just talking about the community aspect of our business, which kind of ties into a little bit of the conservation aspect. But we do invest a lot, specifically into kids fishing opportunities. We invest a lot into pond stocking. And we think that's really important to keep future generations engaged, But one thing that Brad and I talk about a lot is the mental health side of fishing.
Okay.
We live in such a rapidly changing world where we're all tied to our phones, and you just need to get outside in any way fashionable. But it encourages people to get outside and really enjoy living.
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
Absolutely.
And why not do it with throwing a spoon in the water?
Yep.
Or a flasher.
Yep. Or lots of them. Or even just bad knots are good too, actually, by the way. Those are fine too.
Yeah. Yeah. No not teaching seminars. Yeah. Oh, that made, when you said stocking, that also made me remember that lots of the smaller spoons are great for stock trout as well. So
Absolutely.
Little plug with that there too. But no, that's all fair. And did you mention, Brad, something before we were recording about a brewing company?
Yeah. So
Was there something there?
So Jess and I have always supported these initiatives, these kids fishing events and these community events. And, like during COVID, we did fishing for food banks. So we sold some specialty lures, and half of all the proceeds went to food banks across the country, specifically rural food banks. And we ended up donating $55,000 to that initiative. And when Fort McMurray burned down, we did a Fishing for Fort McMurray campaign, and we raised $22,000 for that. So we do lots of those initiatives. And we also do the conservation initiatives that Jess talked about, fish stockings, things like that. So we've been doing that for a long time, but about 5 years ago, Jess, maybe 6. Our
6, 7, almost probably.
Yeah, okay. So our local brewery came to us and said,
No, 6 because it was in 2019.
yes, that's right. So our local brewery came to us and said, hey, we'd like to do a 5 of Diamonds Pilsner. What would that look like to license that that name and design and whatnot? So Jess and I talked about it, and we're like, kind of go back to them. It's like, okay, well, that sounds great. We'll charge a modest royalty on each can, and we will commit to donating 100% of that royalty back to conservation initiatives. So it's been wildly successful. Like this beer went. This beer is now their first bestseller, and they're the 6th biggest brewery in Alberta. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So
This doesn't have to do anything with beer making it harder to tie
I hope
knots,
so.
does it?
I hope so. It's all part of my scheme.
it's all full
Coming
circle now.
together,
I get it. I get it.
So yeah, we I think we've donated $38,000 so far to conservation initiatives just from the
Nice.
brewery. But we've also squirreled away a lot of money the last 2 years just because we haven't had time to focus on it at all. Because we've been so focused on this. So
Well, we've been using it for little things like and all across Canada too, not just locally. There was a hatchery that their roof collapsed in Ontario. We were able to give them a little bit of money to go towards their roof. It can maybe fund a trip to Lac La Martre, for example. We've done some
Testing.
donations to accessibility. So we have this was Brad's baby, and I'm really proud of him. We do a lot of volunteer work, him and I, for the Lacombe Fish and Game Association on the side. He's the president currently in his final term of presidential
Reality.
duties. And one of his big projects was building a fully accessible dock at the Len Thompson Pond, which is a stock trout pond just down the road from us. And when we say fully accessible, it's designed to be fully wheelchair accessible, just to see, who in the community is able to use that, and not even just for people who have disabilities, but it's a safer place for families to go. So we were able to donate a big chunk of money towards helping get that built. There's a lot of things that we've been able to put that money towards.
There you go. That's awesome. And
So when
people
you
get
drink a
to-
5 of Diamonds Pilsner, dear friends,
yep.
you are actually supporting conservation.
There
we
you go.
got 500
So
500
drink up.
trout are going into Len Thompson Pond at the end of this month, paid for by the brewery, or by the beer royalties. So
Nice. There you go. And is that available? Like where all can you get that? Is it all over? Or?
well,
It's
The-
easiest
the
to
beer?
find in Alberta.
it's very easy to find in
Okay.
Alberta.
There's a lot of interprovincial liquor problems, regulations, barriers. So it is easiest to find in Alberta. I think you can special order it in Saskatchewan. We keep talking to them about how to make that easier because we think that brand recognition will do really well there. But
Right. For sure. Well, we're kind of getting near the end of things here. We've already gone an hour 15 pretty well. So I did have kind of somewhat of a 2-part question, but Jesse, did you have anything?
The questions I may have could be answered in your next closing here, so I'll hold off for now.
It's not on the show notes. This is totally
well,
off.
then you better ask
off
the
the top.
questions.
Okay.
But we're gonna get to your show notes, right, Logan?
Yeah, I'm totally lost in them. They're just a bunch of bullet points right now. If the listeners couldn't tell.
I'm just looking at like your the last.
Well, you close it out. I'll ask
10
my
lines.
two-parter. You
Okay.
you can close it out. So my first part with this is like obviously anyone goes into Cabela's, huge place, they'll see Len Thompson in there. So the first part was kind of, or do you know like where is the furthest that you guys have seen your spoons being used, or that you know that they retail from home base basically?
The lures do ship across the world, but for the most part, in terms of distributors, we have a rather large distributor in Sweden. We've got a small distributor in. We did have a good distributor in Russia at one point. So kind of that Northern Europe area is pretty popular for actually selling them through retail and distribution. But we do send packages to expats all across the world. Usually they're expats though.
Okay.
Like, you know, guys in Kenya move to Kenya or something and buys a couple $100 worth of lures and things like that. Send our shipping team into a frenzy trying to figure out how to get lures to Kenya. So, yeah,
I see. That makes sense. So now my two-parter turned into a three-parter. The second part being, have either of you walked into a store somewhere and go, huh, and see them being sold there? Like, has you ever been surprised like that?
No. Yes and no. I mean, every time I go into a store and I see them that I didn't know they were there, I'm happy about that. So, yeah, I went to fill up with gas on this recent trip through BC, and I just pulled up to this Chevron because I use Chevron or Petro-Canada, and I go in there and they've got like a 4-foot by 8-foot sectional Len Thompsons. I was like, oh, yeah, you know, so
nice.
Left a card and said thank you and whatnot. But I mean, in Canada, we're very fortunate to be, if they sell fishing tackle in most of Canada, they have our stuff. I say most because there's some great brands in Quebec that have really strong presence there. So you're tougher to find us in Quebec. But even Ontario, we're pretty well distributed now, whereas 15 years ago, maybe not quite as much. So.
Okay. No, that's fair. And the last part of this, like I used to like to watch like Shark Tank or whatever, and they talk about getting into major distributors as a company. Like, how crazy is that for you guys to be in a Cabela's or a Bass Pro? Like, that's got to be a obviously pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna kind of sound a little arrogant here, but I hope it doesn't come across as arrogant. Is if a distributor or a retailer comes to Western Canada and they don't have Len Thompson, then the consumer is going to be mad at them. So the consumer will be like, hey, it'd be like going to your local grocery store and them not having like bread or milk. The
essentials
in Western Canada. Now that's definitely not like that. Might sound a little arrogant, but it's just the good fortune of being around for 96 years, I think, really. So I haven't had to work real hard, to be honest with you, to get new business with retailers in Western Canada. When I first joined the business, Eppinger was a really big deal in Ontario, and Eppinger makes a great product. Made in America spoon, good quality product. But I was able to go into the Ontario dealers and distributors at the time and said, hey, very similar quality, and because of the US dollar, ours is 50% cheaper-ish. And, over the 5 years after that, you can't really find Eppinger in Ontario anymore. You can only find Eppinger at Lac La Martre
Right.
Lodge, actually, from what I'm aware of.
Well, and I wasn't going to say the name, but I didn't even know what they were until I went up there. I didn't know that was a brand until I went up to Lac La Martre. So I only knew Len Thompson. So I was loyal to the brand.
I think it's
You guys are really need Zach to change it up here, eh?
no, I think that, like I say, I don't want to come across as arrogant, but I think it's just the good fortune that we have for being around for 96 years.
I think that just to put a different spin on your question of something that's surprising, I think that the brand recognition still surprises me sometimes. Like if you're wearing a Len Thompson hat, or the amount of enthusiasm you get from somebody when it comes up in conversation, like the fangirling that can happen still surprises me to this day, because I do think that, not to bring it back to tattoos, but to bring it back to tattoos, we get quite a few pictures of people who tattoo a 5 of diamonds or a red and white on their bodies. Or I had an email just last week about somebody who put their dad's favorite lure in his urn because it was such a big part of who he was. So like, those are the stories that give me the shivers and the tingles more than anything, because I think it's pretty wild that a piece of metal can mean that much to people.
Well, you did say brass is getting expensive, so
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, Jess, because it's a bit of pressure to like be in charge of this legacy, and it's a lot of work, but we're very fortunate that I think that there's a lot of people cheering for us, a lot of consumers that support us, a lot of retailers, and how a silly little piece of metal emotionally connects that deeply with certain people definitely is touching. Like it really, Len built a really special thing, and Len, Cecil, Richard, they really built a special thing over the decades, right? So now it's Jess and my job to keep her going and try not to crash into the rocks on the way through.
No pressure.
That's fair.
Jess.
Well, the nice thing is for kind of building the allure of the lure is lots of the old boys, they're so stubborn on this is what I use and this is all I use, right? So being around in that time, that was grandpa's teaching their grandkids, or dad's teaching their kids, this is what you use, and it just gets ingrained into you from a younger age, right? Like, I mean, no one's going to have an emotional attachment to a Lindy rig that they use for walleye. Like, oh, I really like this bullet weight and this bare hook. Like, I remember fond memories. Like, that could be literally anything, right? But as soon as you can apply that design to it, whether it's the 5 of diamonds, red and white, and this is what grandpa always used to use, like that's a pretty good connection you can make there, like kind of what Jess was talking about. So no, that's all totally fair.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I asked the 3-parter there.
That was good.
You had what you were thinking, Jesse, to wrap things up here, or what?
Well, I also have kind of 2 things, but so I'm curious, I know you guys were busy this following year with the taking over. You guys probably don't even want to expand anymore, but is there anything next? Is there anything on the burner that you're like, what's next for Len Thompson? Is there any new products or new brands or new styles of lure, any sort of thing that you could touch on?
I think you'll see some more innovation in the flasher space once we get kind of our feet underneath us and understand what's the most popular. We can figure out how to scale that up and maybe slash out some of the excess is the plan, and then come out with some new patterns and potentially some new designs in that area. I think on Len Thompson, it's a little bit more difficult to be new and innovative because it's a staple.
Right.
Fair enough.
You can maybe add some chocolate to your milk, but going back to that reference, but maybe a strawberry
if it-
flavor here and there, but for the most part, the stuff that sells the best are the classics. So we came out with
Keep
an
a good thing
Ultra
going.
series a couple years ago that will, continue plugging and growing that. But I think that most of our time is going to be spent babying our new baby.
Yeah. The trolling spoon markets could use a refresh every 3 years. Trolling spoon guys they're crazy with their colors. So we're probably due for that. We only have 96 colors, and we only will have 96 colors, but there's probably 10 or so colors that are not performing, and we can probably cut those and add 10 more new ones. And then, honestly, once we get the next 2 years of getting through this, I don't want to call it a relaunch, but transition with the Hotspot Apex, we're going to be excited about putting out some stuff and doing some things for our 100th anniversary, which is only 4 years away. So,
and I don't know what we're going to do yet.
No.
So far, listeners got any good ideas?
We already
DM
got the
you
world's
guys.
largest lure for our 90th, so it's kind of hard to top that one. But we'll come up
the
with
world's
something.
largest lure. We debated waiting until our 100th, but we decided to do it on our 90th instead. And now I don't know. I don't regret it by any means, but now we have no ideas for our 100th. So.
Well, maybe that largest lure was only a number 2, and now you got to do a number 4.
Number 4.
Actually, the world's largest lure is 100 times larger than a number 2. That's what we gave to the fabricator and said, here, make that 100 times bigger, and it worked out to 42 feet long. So, I'm saying there's a chance.
I literally quoted that movie today, Logan. I did to
1 in a million.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fair. I mean, 100 years. I mean, pretty similar thing. I mean, after this is episode 91 or 99. Episode 100 is going to be in 2 weeks from this one going out. We don't know either. I mean, same thing, right?
idea.
Episode 100, 100 years.
Totally same thing. I really empathize with you.
Well, we're honored.
It's going to be
We're
amazing.
honored to be
though.
the same as the great one, number 99. Anyways.
Yeah. The Gretzky episode. No, that's totally fair. Yeah, we kind
Actually,
of.
ironically enough, I'm pretty sure the world's largest lure is on page 99 of the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah, so maybe 99 is our lucky number.
Yeah,
It was meant to be.
Logan obviously knew
that is
that
pretty
as the
crazy.
producer of the podcast.
Totally.
And
Of
expertly.
From episode 1, I was like, I know what episode 99 is going to be. Yeah. No, that's all gold. Yeah, I'm excited to see, I guess, what you guys come up with. At least you got a couple of years to decide something there. But yeah, no, I've really enjoyed this. What did you have for the closing stuff there, Jesse? I don't want to keep them too long.
I would like to add, is it possible, Logan, for you to add in a song even for the closing 30 seconds? I'm sure Brad and Jess already know what song I'm going to request, but for the end of the episode, like after our, thank you for listening to the Weekend Warriors podcast thing.
Yeah.
There's actually a Len Thompson song on Spotify. And ever since Brad and Jess brought this to my attention, what is that, a month and a half ago?
It's catchy.
It's been in my head. It's been on my boat. It's every day in my headphones, driving, guiding. I've been playing it, and I think it's only fair.
We don't have rights to the song. This was just a fan who made the song.
It's actually a fun story. This
and it's called The Runs. Is the name of the band if you look them up. So I can't give you the rights to play it on the end, but it goes something like
no.
Okay, sorry.
No, we're gonna figure. Logan's gonna don't.
Getting late and getting delirious.
Logan's gonna figure out how to put the musically talented Runs, Fernie's number 2 band,
Okay.
on the podcast at the end.
Okay, I'll toss that on to the end. We'll give them the shout out right now. You said it was the Runs.
Yeah.
Is the band?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll figure out how to put that on there for people on YouTube. I'll have to. Oh, I don't know if I'll get copyrighted or not on YouTube. If I do, I'll mute it. But on Spotify and stuff, I don't think you really get in trouble. So we're giving them the credit. People know it's the Runs. But yeah, I haven't listened to it, so I don't even know what it's going to be.
You're
And
gonna
then
be
I'll find it and
tapping
download
away
it.
to it.
Jesse's favorite song.
It's gonna make you want to go out and buy 5 of diamonds, like that's for sure. Or you could get a tattoo of
That's
5
right.
diamonds.
That's what you listen to get the tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Thank you so
that's
much
fair.
for having us on the podcast. You too.
Oh, yeah.
I
No,
hope
we
we
had
didn't talk your ear off.
No, I had a blast. My cheeks hurt from laughing and smiling for this whole one here. And obviously, thank you
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for taking your time out of your evening to come on too. And as far as where everyone can find you, plug away on anything you want to right now.
Website's www.lenthompson.com. You can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Len Thompson Lures. We post a lot, as I said earlier, kind of behind the scenes in the process if you find that kind of thing interesting. And then Brad and I also have a podcast, the Canadian Fishing Podcast. We're not quite to 100 yet, but we're almost at 50 episodes. So we kind of take a sabbatical over the summer when things are wild, but we'll be getting back to that in the fall.
Sounds good. Brad, you got anything? Or is she the socials lady?
The marketing guru. I hate social media. I'm an old curmudgeon. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll find Brad
He was
on
born
Facebook.
before 1994.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You could
there you go.
probably find him at the bar drinking a 5 of diamonds pilsner.
5 diamonds
I
of
imagine.
Pilsner.
Yes.
More likely a whiskey, but yes. I mean, Pilsner's fine. Pilsner's great. I just have a.
I was gonna say, there's no way that brewery came up with that beer name because you weren't there. I'm sure, like, you were probably involved a little.
We
there.
did. We were involved.
Someone had to try it out.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Had to
for
taste
sure.
test
Yeah.
it a few
Yeah,
times.
Make sure it wasn't. It was up to our standards. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, you guys have a
And
high
they
quality,
are very generous with
product,
samples too.
well, those are good people. Good people, just like you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Aw, thanks.
we definitely appreciate you two taking your time. We'll wrap things up here now. We're at like an hour 30, something like that. I think it'll end up being so. A nice long one for the listeners to listen to on their way to view the world's largest lure, maybe, who knows, or just going out to the lake. But definitely appreciate you guys taking time into your evening.
Thanks, guys.
There we go.
Thank you.
Episode 99 in the books. I hope you enjoyed that one. I definitely did. I was laughing so much throughout the episode there, and then our talking after we were done recording too. My cheeks hurt from laughing, and that's how you know you've had a good time. Big thanks to Brad and Jess for hopping on. They also have a podcast as well that was mentioned right at the end there, so go tune into theirs. I think me and Jesse might be hopping on there in the next couple of months as well, so we'll definitely shout out that one on the socials too. But yeah, huge thanks to them for coming on, spending pretty well hour and a half, hour 45 with us. Really thankful for that, and I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as Jesse and I did. You can really tell that Brad and Jess are some pretty happy, good people to be around, and that's what Jesse was saying with their recent trip up to Lac La Martre. So again, big thanks to them for coming on. Keeping the outro short as well, as this was a long episode. Just want to give a big thanks to 13 Fishing Canada behind me here for being the presenting sponsor of the show. You can head over to the website, that is Rapala Canada. Use the code Weekend Warriors at checkout. That's WKND Warriors to save yourself 15% off your entire cart. Doesn't matter what brands it is on the website. It's not just 13. I've had some people ask that. It is anything on the website. Use the code Weekend Warriors and save yourself 15% off. All that being said, thank you very much for tuning in to episode 99. Will be the big 100 2 weeks from now for the next episode. So stay tuned for that one. You're not going to want to miss it.